and their soil will be swollen with fat. For the Lord has a day of vengeance, a year of recompense for Zion's cause. Check this out. All right. For my sword will be seen in the heavens. Is that the sign of his coming? A sword in the shape of a cross, but a sword? Think about it. Think about it. Isaiah 61:1. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because the Lord has anointed me. He has sent me to bring good news to the oppressed, and to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives, and release from darkness for the prisoners, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor, the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all who mourn, to provide for those who grieve in Zion, to bestow upon them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of gladness instead of mourning, a mantle of praise instead of a spirit of despair. Then people will call the name. Then people will call them oaks of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, in order to display his splendor. They will rebuild the ancient ruins. They will restore the places long devastated. They will build again the ruined cities. They will build again the places devastated for many generations. Strangers will stand and feed your flocks, and foreigners will work your land and dress your vines. But as for you, you will be called priests of the Lord, and you will be named ministers of our God, and you will feed on the wealth of the nations, and you will boast about their riches. Instead of your shame, you will receive double. Instead of disgrace, people will shout with joy over your inheritance. Therefore, you will inherit a double portion in their land. Everlasting joy will be yours. Okay? Rewards for those who were persecuted. Okay? Accept it. Be strong in the face of it with joy. Okay? Lord, forgive them, for they know not what they do, is what Peter said before they stoned him. Okay? That is courage, man. That is courage. When they were killing him and he said, forgive them, he was praying for them as they killed him, and you need to know that. That's the extent of what this is about. That's our role model right there. The Lord rebukes. Okay? Jeremiah 46:1. This is the message from the Lord that came to Jeremiah the prophet concerning the nations. To Egypt, concerning the army of Pharaoh, Necho king of Egypt, which was by the Euphrates River at Carchemish, and which King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon defeated in the 4th year of the reign of Josiah's son Jehoiakim, king of Judah. Prepare a buckler and shield, and advance into battle. Harness the horses. Riders, mount up. Take your positions with your helmets. Polish lances, and put on armor. Why am I seeing this? They're terrified. They have turned back. Their warriors are crushed, and they take flight. They don't look back. Terror is on every side, declares the Lord. The swift cannot flee, nor can the strong escape. In the north, beside the Euphrates River, they stumble and fall. Who is this rising like the Nile, like rivers whose waters surge? Egypt is rising like the Nile, like rivers whose waters surge. He says, I'll rise and cover the land. I'll destroy city and its inhabitants. Horses, get up. Chariots, drive fiercely. Let the warriors go forward. Ethiopia and Put, who carry shields, and the Lydians, who handle and bend the bow. That day belongs to the Lord of the heavenly armies. It is a day of vengeance, to take vengeance on his foes. The sword will devour and be satisfied, and will drink its fill of their blood. For the Lord God of the heavenly armies will hold a sacrifice in the land of the north by the Euphrates River. Luke 21:23. How terrible it will be for those women who are pregnant, or those who are nursing babies in those days, because there will be a great distress in the land and wrath against his people. I've always wondered about that, and I've spoken about it a couple times. Isaiah 13:9. Watch out, the day of the Lord is coming, cruel, with wrath and fierce anger, to turn the entire inhabited earth into a desolation and to annihilate sinners from it. For the stars of the heavens and their constellations won't shine their light. The sun will be dark when it rises. The moon won't shine its light. I'll punish the world for its evil and the wicked for their iniquity. I'll put an end to the pomposity of the arrogant and overthrow the insolent of tyrants. I'll make people scarcer than pure gold, and mankind rarer than gold from Ophir. Therefore I'll make the heavens tremble. The earth will shake from its place at the wrath of the Lord of the heavenly armies, at the time of his burning anger. They will be like hunted gazelle or like sheep with no one to gather them. Each will turn to his own people. Each will flee to his own land. Whosoever is captured will be thrust through, and whosoever is caught will fall dead and killed by the sword. Their infants will be dashed to pieces before their eyes, and their houses will be looted and their wives raped. Okay? Woe to them who are with child and give suck. As for those innocent babies, don't fear anything that will take your first death. Those babies are innocent and they have a purpose at that last day, and don't worry about them. Okay? For everything happens in God's plan as it is spoken, so shall it be done. If they're your enemies and they're killing you or they're raping you, man or woman, it don't matter. These boys don't play. Okay? Lord, forgive them, for they do not know what they do. Okay, remember that. Luke 21:24. They will fall by the edge of the sword and be carried off as captives among all the nations, and Jerusalem will be trampled on by the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles are fulfilled. And what are the times of the Gentiles? The Lord wishes that everybody would come to redemption through Christ, okay? Go to Romans 11:25. For I want to let you know about this secret, this mystery, brothers, so that you will not claim to be wiser than you are. Stubbornness has come to part of Israel until the full number of the Gentiles comes to the faith. Then Israel will be saved, okay? Luke 21:25. There will be signs in the sun, in the moon, and the stars, and there will be distress on earth among the nations that are confused by the roaring sea and its waves. Joel 2:1. Sound the ram horn in Zion, sound an alarm on my holy mountain. Tremble, all of you inhabitants of the land, because the day of the Lord is coming. Oh, how near it is. A day of doom and gloom, a day of clouds and shadows like the dawn spreads out over the mountains. A people strong and robust. Never has there been anything like it. Neither will anything follow to compare with it, even through the lifetime of generation upon generation. A fire blazes in their presence, and behind them a conflagration of rages, okay? They do destruction in their wake. Before they come, the land is like a garden in Eden, and after they leave, there's only barren wasteland. Indeed, nothing escapes them. As to their form, they're like horses and like chariot horses. How can they run? They leap like rumbling of chariots echoing from mountaintops. They take the roar of the wildfire that devours the chaff as an army firmly established in battle array. The people are terrified in their presence. Every face grows pale. They run like elite soldiers, climbing the ramparts like men trained for war. Each man advances in proper order, never breaking rank. Neither does a man crowd his fellow soldier. Each one marches in his own path. When they fall by the sword, they are not injured. They swarm through the city, running upon its ramparts, climbing atop the houses. They enter through the windows like a thief. The land quivers in their presence. Even the heaven shakes. The sun and the moon will grow dark, and the stars will stop shining. Destruction before those signs, okay? Luke 21:26. The people will faint from fear and apprehension because of the things that are to come on the inhabited world, because the powers of the heaven will be shaken. Okay? Isaiah 13:6. Wail out loud, because the day of the Lord is near. It will come like destruction from the Almighty. Because of this, every hand will go limp. Every man's courage will melt. They will be terrified. Pain and anguish will seize them. They'll writhe like a woman in labor. They'll look aghast at one another. Their faces will be ablaze with fear. Not like Home Alone. Okay? 13:9. Watch out! The day of the Lord is coming, cruel, with wrath and fierce anger, to turn the entire inhabited earth into a desolation and to annihilate sinners from it. For the stars of the heavens and their constellations won't shine their light. The sun will be dark when it rises, and the moon won't shine its light. Luke 21:27. Then they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory, okay? Daniel 7:8. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots, and behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. And I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like pure wool. His throne was like a fiery flame, his wheels as burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were open. I beheld then, because of the voice of the great words which the little horn spake, I beheld till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed, and given to the burning flame. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory and kingdom, and that all the people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that shall not be destroyed. Okay? Now look. I beheld the little throne, the little horn was plucked up by the roots. Okay? I beheld till the thrones were cast down. These are those 10 kings. Okay? Got to know this. All this stuff ties together, all right? Revelations 1:7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. It's the second resurrection. Those who pierced him with the nails or with the spear, they're going to see this. Okay? I don't know what that means, but you got to know that's serious, okay? And all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so. All kindreds of the earth. Okay, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is and which was and which is to come, the Almighty. Okay, Revelation 14:14, and I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle, one like unto the Son of Man. And another angel, meaning that was an angel, came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, and for the harvest of the earth is ripe. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. And another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came out from the altar, which had the power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, Thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of God. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse bridles, by the space of 1,600 furlongs. And when he had opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar of souls them. Okay, so that's Revelation 14:20. And when he had opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God, and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, until their fellow servants also and their brethren that they should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. Be ready, be strong. And this word should be pumping you up. And I beheld when he had opened the 6th seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake. And then the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. So in the 5th seal, people will die for the name of God. So in the 6th seal is the signs we're seeing, okay? And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens where they were hiding, and in the rocks of the mountains where they paid a lot of money to try to be safe from this day. And they say to the mountains and the rocks, Fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Luke 21:28. Now when these things begin to take place, stand up and lift your heads, because your deliverance is approaching. Stand up and lift your heads like a warrior, like God tells Job. stand up and gird yourself like a warrior. Okay? Stand up and lift your heads because your deliverance is approaching.